We have an exclusive interview we're about to do, ladies and gentlemen. We have seen a lot going on the news when it comes to Quad from Married to Medicine and her husband, Dr. Gregory Lunceford. Dr. Gregory Lunceford is here with us right now. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well.
All right. So are you ready? It's kind of difficult when we do these kind of interviews because it's like we don't know where to start. But I guess the best thing to do is just tell us about you.
Well, yeah.
Because we hear a lot about your wife. We don't often get a chance to know you.
Well, like I say with my patients, let's start with the problem.
Uh-oh.
The problem is I feel like I'm being misrepresented. I feel like I'm being portrayed in a way that's not true and definitely not consistent with my character. And so for the people that love me, I'm going to defend myself because there are people who feel that this isn't fair and they're hurt by it and they want it to stop. So I'm here to talk.
You know what's interesting? You're a board-certified psychologist.
Psychiatrist. Yeah, I'm a psychiatrist. I'm an MD, and I have a twin brother, and he is just got his PhD in economics. So I insist that you call me Gregory because his name is Greg. It's a long story, but yeah, I'm so proud of him. He just graduated last year.
Okay. So people have said that Dr. Gregory, for lack of better words, is crazy.
Yeah,
I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yeah,
they say you got issues.
Say you have
You
issues.
wanted to so address that because it's kind of ironic, right? You're a psychiatrist, but people say now you got issues.
I wonder why people say I have issues. Because I'm in this situation, because I couldn't solve my own marital problems, they say I have issues. Well, I tell you, there were a lot of red flags that I ignored. And so when you ignore red flags in life, you have issues.
How long are you and Quad been married?
5.5 years. We aren't fully divorced yet, but we got married in July of 2012.
Okay.
All right. We are here live on the radio with Dr. Greg Lunceford, the estranged husband.
Gregory
Lunceford, Quad's husband. We have a lot of questions for you. Do you mind if we open up the phone lines?
No, I want to talk a little bit first.
Okay, we're going to do that.
Okay.
We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to get back. But you excited? You ready to get it off your chest?
I
want to talk.
You want to talk with it? We're going to take a quick break.
All
It's
right.
Frank
We're going to see if we can
morning.
move these commercials out the way and miss this music and let you just talk about 15 minutes straight, okay? You like that?
I get a 15-minute
like that?
monologue. That's a long roll.
You like that?
Hey, I love it.
How much money you got?
Let's do it.
V103.
Our special guest is here, Dr. Gregory Lunceford. You know his name from Married to Medicine. He is Quad's husband. I want to take you real quick to an episode that we just saw. Dr. Lunceford, I want you to listen to this.
I filed for divorce.
You filed for divorce. Was there something in particular that made you file beyond what we've seen?
Yes. There were a number of things there. As I was trying to work through things with my husband and I still was hitting a brick wall, I just said, you know, he's not getting it. Apparently that's giving me a message that he doesn't want to get it, which means he doesn't want the marriage.
Looking back on your marriage, is there anything you wish you had done differently?
I wish that I could have probably set the tone a little differently. I think for me, I was trying to be everything.
Right.
And eventually that wore on me. In a sense, it made me resent him a bit. He's been non-compliant with turning in the paperwork in which we need to complete the divorce. So I figure if you want to live single, then you do the work to be single.
Dr. Lunceford, how does it feel when you hear your wife on all of these mediums on television speaking bad about you?
Well, it doesn't make me feel good, that's for sure. And I wonder why she would do such a thing, especially all the things that I've done for her. You know, I've never been anything but good to her, you know, and the allegations that she's putting out there are totally false. I mean, I'll take it point by point. You know, she says that I was committing adultery.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was not committing adultery. I mean, secondly, she says that she did everything. Well, she wasn't doing anything. I mean, she moved out of the bedroom a few years ago, okay? She never did anything marital. She had severe withdrawal from the marriage as early as 2014. you know? And so at the end of the day, I'm the one. I mean, every time we went to counseling or therapy, I was the one who set it up. And in fact, there were times when she wouldn't even show up for the therapy sessions. So, I mean, you know, I sacrificed everything and changed my whole life to support this marriage. You know, before I got married to her, I was working one job and I was working out 4 times a week. Every Friday night, it was the same routine. Car wash, getting dressed, going out, hanging with the fellas, having a great time. But I decided that I wanted more for my life. I wanted a family. And, you know, I miss family life. I grew up in a good family. I wanted to make one of my own.
Right.
And so, you know, someone came along who was stunningly beautiful and convinced me that they wanted the same thing. And for a while, I think she did try. But it was quickly diminished. And, you know, I can't say anything other than this. You know, I did all I could for that marriage.
Well, let me ask you a question. How did you feel about the whole Married to Medicine thing?
That was
Because
something.
I couldn't do it.
That's what I was gonna
I couldn't
say.
do it.
Yeah. Whose idea was that to get on the show?
Well, it was her idea. Her friend Mariah came up with the show and wanted to include her. And, you know, knowing Quad the way I do, knowing her personality, I knew that there was no way that I could dissuade her from doing that. And quite frankly, as a husband, I didn't want to dissuade her from doing anything she wanted to do. I wanted to, you know, if I could support her in that. And, you know, it was frightening because I knew that my image and, you know, my reputation could take a knock for doing it. And I was every step of the way. I mean, it was very difficult. I was following her doing these scenes, trying to make sure she wouldn't lose her temper and, you know, and you know, it was a thing that I took a lot of flack for that from close friends and family. You know, my family, with the exclusion of my uncle, they don't really watch the show, you know, and you know, the whole marriage created distance between, but that was okay because, you know, I'm married to her. You know, that was my wife. We're rocking together. You know, it was a couple, and if that's what she wanted to do and I could help her do it, I was about to do it. And, you know, I knew that, you know, there were people who would raise their eyebrows at the show and say things about it. But I said, we had a saying, we said, let's not let each other's career be an excuse for us not doing the best that we could in our own individual career. All right. So I was like, it wasn't no excuse. That's the way I am, you know.
We're going to take a quick break, Dr. Gregory Lunceford, real quick. We're talking to Dr. Gregory Lunceford. He is a medical doctor here in Atlanta. He is married to Quad from Married to Medicine.
Yes.
She's been online. When we come back, I want you to walk us through the major allegation of what happened at that hotel.
Sure.
Your side of the story. Not Jackie Presley's side, not Quad's side. I want to hear from you how you wound up in a hotel room with a woman you wasn't married to.
Let's go.
He is in the studio with us, Dr. Gregory Lunceford, the estranged husband of Quad from Married to Medicine. And before we went to the break, Dr. Lunceford, I asked you a question. The question that I have is, you know, we saw on one of the seasons that basically you had gotten, for lack of a better word, outed about an incident that happened at a hotel where you were in a hotel with another woman.
Well, you're talking about last year's reunion show, and I wasn't outed. I outed myself. I'm the one who brought it up. I'm the one who said that I was in a hotel room.
But you
with
brought
a
it
woman.
up when she threatened you.
What happened was they were talking about Curtis and Dr. Jackie and the problems they were having in their marriage and Curtis's infidelity. And while they were talking about that, she kept turning around, looking at me, giving me dirty looks on the set. And I saw this, and I had a discussion with her before that. I was like, listen, you know, we can work this out, but if you go out there and you try to throw me under the bus, I'm just going to tell the whole thing because I feel like I have nothing to hide because I didn't do it. That was the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life that night to end up in that hotel room. And I can tell you what happened, and I can tell you how it happened.
But you just said, I didn't do it. And now you
Right.
say that was the stupidest thing I ever did.
Well, let me explain. At that time, most of the time since I've been married to Quad,
You weren't having sex.
we were not having sex.
Exactly. Okay.
And that was very embarrassing to say because, I mean, people always looked at us and the running joke was, why is she with, you? She's so fine and you're this doctor and everything like that. And I never saw it that way. But at the same time, who's willing to say in front of all these people that, your wife isn't having sex with you. You're doing all this stuff. You're paying all the bills. You help put her on this platform, and she's in the other room. I mean, we hit all this, and it was very embarrassing. And so that was a huge part of why I did what I did. But I still knew better, and I mean, it was still stupid, and that's why I didn't follow through with it. But I could tell you how it happened.
So in a nutshell, you're at this hotel, you and
Jackie Presley,
and you're at this hotel. You decide to go up to the room.
Well, let me explain. So one of my buddies was in town, and this was a friend from high school, and I hadn't been out in a while. And, when you have friends that come way back, they touch something inside of you, this joy inside of you, and we were having an epic night. We went out to a little spot, and he went out and he started talking to this girl, and she had a friend, and I told a friend that I was married, and they said, fine, we just partying, we kicking it. And so it wasn't that night, it was the next night when they were like, oh, do you want to come back out? And I'm like, no, I'm in bed, but they talked me into coming back out. So I went to his hotel where he and the two girls were met us, and we went out again to another spot, and we were out kicking it. And so then to finish the night off, we went back to his hotel, laughing, talking, da-da-da, and I got super stupid, thought I was somebody I wasn't. I had a cape on, I was about to fly, I was about to be super player. And then when I got up there, I was like, let's go back to Clark Kent. I was like, no, let's not do this. This isn't us. But at the time,
so you're telling, let's be for real. Let me just keep it real. Then I'm gonna turn it over to Wanda. You're telling me, as a man, here's a guy you haven't had sex with your wife in years. You go back a second time to see this girl. You're in a hotel room. You go and get the room. You take her up to the room, and then you caught your senses and said no?
Yeah, I mean, Frank, I caught my senses, man.
Dude, come on, be for real.
Because I have senses, man. I started smelling and seeing stuff that wasn't right. And I was like, and that helped. I started smelling and seeing something that wasn't right. I was like, I'm doing wrong. I could tell it. This is a sign. It smelled like I need to
Gregory
leave.
Lunceford.
And so I got out of there.
It's hard to believe. Wanda, go right ahead.
Okay, so, we're watching Married to Medicine, and we honestly thought that this show was going to be the platform where we got to see our African-American doctors and their marriages go in a great direction other than something else negative. But, of course, that didn't happen. We started to see, different things happen. Exactly. So at any point in time in your marriage, did you feel like, okay, Quad, this is going to the left. I want to save this marriage. Let's get off the show and let's go to counseling. Let's get our lives together. And she said yes, or she said no, or you just kept on with it because you liked the feeling as well?
Well, I'm going to be fair. Like, I gave her my word that I was going to support her in this, so I gave my word.
But it's going bad.
No, it's going bad, right. But it's not going bad for me. The show didn't have an effect on me because I'm following my word. I said that I was going to do it. I was going to support her, so I had to take the good and the bad. I was fine with taking the lumps as long as it didn't have any effect on my career, and so it really didn't have any effect on my career. In fact, my practice continued to grow. I continued to hire people, and there's such a need in mental health. And I loved what so it didn't. The show didn't have an impact on me. If anything, the show gave me a platform that I'm still trying to use to promote mental health. Because to be honest with you, there's a huge stigma.
Yeah,
there's a huge stigma.
But it doesn't. It just doesn't go together. When you go back and you're saying, shortly after you got married, she moves out of the bedroom. You guys aren't having sex. It goes by. You're on this show. You're supporting her on this show, but she's not giving you anything.
Listen, my personal demands became so high with the career. I mean, I worked the equivalent of 3 jobs. With a medical directorship, on staff at a hospital, I have my own clinic. I mean, there's a lot of work out here in mental health that needs to be done. And, when the marriage wasn't going well, I kind of put myself more into my work, and You know, that could be as much to, I mean, that has some part to play in the failure of our marriage, but really the biggest part that had to play was, we just weren't seeing eye to eye. We weren't going in the same direction. She was growing in her career.
You felt like Quad loved you?
As best she could. As best she could. I think that, her capability for love isn't, but that's personal. I don't want to.
Did you meet her parents? Did you meet her parents or her family?
Of course.
And did you get love from the family, like they were supporting this marriage, or did you get something different? I mean, was it a family you wanted to be a part of?
Her family was always supportive of the marriage.
Okay.
And family is family.
People were saying that she didn't match with you because you were, I guess, a nerdy guy, and she's this, Did you, you said that was hurtful for you. Did you feel that from either side of the family? Like, why are you with this girl?
Well, Quad is a lot of fun. When we were kicking it, we used to have such a good time. I mean, we had the best time all the time, and that started to change, and I couldn't explain why that was changing.
So you still love her?
I'll always have feelings for Quad.
I didn't ask you that. You still love her?
Of course.
If you can work it out, would you like to?
No.
Okay.
Do you think she married with you just to be on the show?
I don't think she married me just to be on the show. No. I think that she married me because she liked what I was representing. And I think she wanted to have a life. But at the end of the day, I don't think that she could do what it needed to be done to maintain and have a life like that.
But you say that y'all got married, and then after y'all got married, you all wasn't, doing the things that couples do, that married couples do. And then it's just like, because you all wasn't doing that things that married couples do, you decided to throw yourself into your work. But had you all been doing things that married couples do you think that, y'all would be at this point?
Absolutely not. I mean, had we been working as a team, we would still be a team.
Why is, and I know you have your attorney here. I just have a question. You can get divorced easily, or you can get divorced difficult. Why is it so difficult if you both don't want it? Why is it so difficult? Is it something that she wants that you're fighting for? Does she want like half your money and you fight? Why is it so difficult? Why can't you just go in there and say, hey, it ain't working out?
It's difficult because she wants money. I mean, and I don't understand why she wants money, because every dime she ever made from the show, I let her keep. Wow. I have no idea how much money she has, what she does with her money. I've never asked her, and this is why. When we got married, I was still building my practice very much, and we had money for certain things, but we certainly didn't have money for her to go popping off and buying a Gucci purse every other week, Chanel this, Fendi that, and that's what she wanted. And so I was like, listen, I got to set a priority system here. I can't buy all that stuff. Now, if you want to go get it, you can. And I was like, I want to make my wife happy, and it made me feel good when I could buy her things, and I bought her a lot of nice things. But listen, I wasn't about to spend the money that I needed to save and plan our future on this stuff. And so, when she started making her money, she started keeping her money. It was never a team effort there. But, I'm kind of old fashioned, and I think a man should take care of a woman, take care of his house, and so that's what I did.
All right. Okay. We might need you to come back. We have to finish this interview, but we might need you to come back. I'm going to talk to your attorney because I think you got more to say.
Well, listen, I just want to say this. It would be one thing if she was saying all these things about me on the show, but she's going outside of the show and saying things about me, and I never had a platform to defend myself, and so that's why I decided to come here to defend my honor and to say to the world that, listen, I am a person who has always advocated their marriage. I didn't give up. And at this point, I just don't feel like we are in the same place, in the right place. And when you're on a TV show, the public, they pull for you. There were people out there pulling for us as a couple, and
Right.
But
it seems like your team, the women on the show like you.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And, you know,
And did you guys go to church? Did y'all? Were you a part of? Did y'all bring God into the marriage?
she never went to church with me. You know, I asked her to go to church and she wouldn't come.
All right, that's it. Shut it down.
It's People Station V103. It's 8:55. Thank you for coming in, Dr. Gregory Lunceford.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate
Thank
you. And
you.
we wish you the best.
Thank you.
Hopefully things will work out for the both of you.